evening, everyone. Welcome to your slow flow class. I'm William. If we haven't met before, there'll be someone else here. No, it's just sound. Okay. Yes, welcome to your slow flow class. I'll be guiding you through the next hour of your practice. Oh, there is someone here. Okay, sorry. Just bear with me for a moment. Hey, Toma. Thank you. All good. Come through. So feel free just to start by finding a comfortable position of your choosing. You can utilize any props if you wish. Some of you might choose to close down your eyes if you're comfortable doing so. Otherwise, you can always just soften your gaze instead, relaxing your focus. And so just using this time at the beginning of your practice to really arrive in your own way, at your own pace. You might check in with what's moving through you, what's most present and alive for you in this moment. Bring a little more awareness to your breath, your breathing. Maybe noticing the quality of your breath, the depth, the temperature. And essentially, just getting a sense of where you're at. What's going on for you. Based on what you notice, or observe, or discover, you might use this to inform the way that you approach your practice here tonight. Might you really practice in a way that is meaningful to you, supportive, nourishing, applicable? Just know that you have full permission to modify your practice, to rest when you feel called to, and to really customize the next hour to suit your needs, your desires, your intentions. Those of you that are lying down, you might slowly start to bring yourself up into a comfortable seat. There's no rush to get there. And if you have been seated this whole time, you might change the cross of your legs just to balance that out. And so we'll begin and open with one round of Om. And you're welcome to join in and chant along. If you prefer not to chant, you can always participate through your listening, through your presence instead. So you can just rest your hands wherever resonates, and I invite you to take a deep breath in first, and maybe a cleansing breath out. Inhale for Om if you're joining me. Maybe a gentle bowing of your head towards your heart, really welcoming yourself, welcoming each other. Enjoy your practice. And then in your own time, you can start to shift your weight forward onto your hands and knees. And you can move any of your props aside. And we'll just start to bring in some gentle movement here. And maybe Some of you like to cycle through some cat-cows to start with. Some of you might choose to move or to mobilize in your own way. Again, perhaps just based on what you're feeling in your body. And some of you might like to prepare through your hands and wrists and fingers at some point. You might turn the fingers out to the sides, shifting your weight side to side. You might turn the fingers back towards you, shifting forward and back. You can have a little play around with other positionings of your hands. Whatever works for you. And then just know that at any time you're welcome to rest in a child's pose or any other position of your choosing. And we will eventually meet back on all fours. And can you take a moment to really ground down through your palms to stabilize through the shoulders, to gently draw the lower belly in and up to engage through your core. And then we'll start to stretch the right leg back here, sort of in line with the hip if possible. So sort of creating this horizontal line. You can flex the toes down or you can point them back, it's up to you. And we'll take a full breath here, lengthening through the crown of the head. And as you exhale, draw the knee to your nose, rounding like an angry cat. As you inhale, lengthen, drive back, extend, and as you exhale, draw in, pull in and round. And let's extend out once more. And then on this third one, you're welcome to bend at the knee, drawing the heel in towards you. Some of you might choose to reach your left hand back for the foot or ankle, really stabilizing through the right hand. If you've got hold of the foot or ankle, maybe kick back through the shin and lift up through the chest. And just taking one more breath wherever you're at, and then slowly releasing that. You might take a cat-cow to reset, or you might just sort of sway it out a little bit. And then coming back into neutral, setting up for the other side. Again, stabilizing through the hands, the shoulders, engaging through the core, and when you're ready, driving your left foot back. Again, you might point the toes down or back, keeping the hips even. Take a breath in when you're ready. And then as you exhale, knee to nose rounding, pushing through the ground. Inhale to lengthen, to extend, and exhale to pull in and up through the lower belly. And once more. Nice. I think maybe we did an extra one on this side, doesn't matter. We'll stretch out. And from here, you'll bend the knee, you'll pull the heel in, and maybe you reach the right hand back for the foot or ankle. Again, if you've got hold of the foot or ankle, can you kick back through the shin? Can you maybe roll that right shoulder forward with your chest lifted? And then very gently, you can release the hand, the leg. Again, maybe a moment to reset. And then we'll meet in downward facing dog. Hands planted, toes tucked, hips lifting up and back when you're ready. And feel free to pedal out your feet, to shake out your head, releasing through your neck. Some of you might choose to roll forward and back a few times through high plank, back to downward dog. Taking your time to explore, to get curious. And then perhaps starting to slow it down, maybe settling into a little more stillness if you haven't already. And actively pushing through the hands, feeling your hips lengthening up and back. You can always soften the knees a bit more If you feel like your hamstrings or lower back are feeling a bit tight today, and maybe staying for 1 or 2 more breaths. And then we'll start to travel up to the top of the mat. You can walk there slowly, you can take a big step or 2. And once you get there, we'll take a halfway lift option for hands on shins for more support. And then folding forward here. Nice. And you'll have your right hand on the floor or a block. You'll peel your left arm up to the sky. You can bend through the right knee. Feel free to send your gaze up towards your left fingertips. And maybe 1 more breath there. And then lowering the hand down, changing sides. Again, you can bend through the left knee. You can send your gaze up to the right hand if you wish. Maybe 1 more breath in, and then letting that go. And from here, we'll start to rise to standing. You can roll up slowly, or you can hinge up from your hips, your choice. And maybe reaching the arms up to the sky when you're ready. And you can just land the hands maybe at the heart or anywhere else that feels right for you in this moment. Some of you might incorporate a nice big shoulder roll up, back and down. You might circle through the head or to roll through the neck a little. Nice. And then again, as you start to slow down and settle into a little more stillness here, can you actively plant down through your feet and maybe feeling a reciprocal sort of push back from the ground. You might feel that energetically lift up through the legs, through the spine, through the crown of your head. So there's this sense of being connected to the space above you, but also deeply rooted in your foundations beneath. And then on your next breath, you can reach up, you can circle up however you like. And as you exhale, you'll fall down to the ground. You'll take a halfway lift on your next breath in. And stepping your right foot back, lowering the right knee as you breathe out. And on your next inhale, reaching the arms up for Anjaneyasana. And we'll take downward facing dog as you exhale, planting the hands, stepping back. And on your next breath, coming forward into high plank, shoulders above wrists, and then knees or toes you can lower all the way down or halfway as you breathe out. Cobra or up dog on your next breath, shining the heart forward, and downward facing dog as you exhale. You can roll over the knees if you like. On your next inhale, taking your right leg up to the sky, and stepping it forward between your hands as you exhale. Back knee lowers, Anjaneyasana as you breathe in, reaching the arms up, and forward fold, stepping to the top of the mat as you breathe out, stepping together. We'll take a halfway lift in our next in-breath, and folding down on our out-breath. On your next inhale, you can rise up, you can reach up to the sky, and as you exhale, you can fold down to the ground. We'll take a halfway lift here as we breathe in. Left foot back, lowering the knee as you breathe out. Again, sweeping the arms up, Anjaneyasana on your next in-breath. And downward facing dog as you exhale, stepping it back. Coming forward into your high plank on your next breath in. And again, flowing through your vinyasa, either all the way or halfway to chaturanga, moving into your back bend of choice. And rolling back into downward facing as you breathe out. And taking your left leg up on your next in-breath. Stepping it forward as you exhale. And back knee lowers, Anjaneyasana. And forward fold, stepping to the top as you breathe out. Just working at your own pace. We'll take a halfway lift here. Folding down. And when you're ready, rising up, reaching up to the sky. And this time we'll take a twist to the right side. So you can reach your left hand forward, your right hand back. And coming back through center as you breathe in. And over to the other side as you breathe out. Nice. And coming back upright as you inhale. And we'll fold down the middle as we exhale. Nice, everyone. We'll take a halfway lift here, breathing in. right foot back, lowering the right knee as we breathe out. Sweeping the arms up, Anjaneyasana as you inhale. We'll twist to the left side, right hand forward, left hand back. You got it. And let's flip that front palm, reversing, reaching up and over. And as you breathe out, lowering the right hand to the floor, so you got it, or onto your block for more support. You might choose to wrap the left arm behind you, or some of you might reach for your back foot or ankle with the left hand. So your choice. You can always pad that knee for a bit more support. Nice. You're right, Sarah. Cramping, yeah. This pose can definitely do that. Feel free to take another breath wherever you're at. And as you release the hands back down, can you straighten that front leg, the left leg, coming into your half splits? So again, if you want, you can use your props, 1 or 2 of them, for more support, or you might just focus on hugging in through the inner thighs and finding your own variation here. Nice. And then from this position, we'll start to rotate to the right side. You'll pivot on the right shin, and you'll walk your hands to the back. So your right hand comes to the back of the mat. You might check that your shin is parallel to the short edge of the mat, reaching your left arm up and over for gate pose. Oh, sorry, stargazer pose. Nice. And then from this position, you might push yourself back up, or you might circle around left hand to left leg, and now we'll come to that gate pose. So you'll reach up and over to the front. Nice. And then from here, let's lift back upright. We'll frame the back of the mat. So pivot the body around. You'll tuck your back toes, you'll kick your right leg up to the sky, so you're facing the back of the room. You can bend the knee, you can open the hip, kick into the left side. That's it, you got it. Let's take a full breath here, and then bring your right knee to your right tricep as you exhale. Kicking up to the sky as you breathe in, knee to nose as you breathe out. And one more time, driving the leg up as you inhale. Cross the knee to your left tricep. You can look to the left. You can slide the foot to the left. Fallen triangle, lifting the left arm, grounding the back heel. And taking a full breath there. And then lowering the hand, you can slide your right leg under. You can step it behind you, pivoting onto the left hand for wild thing. Or you can come back to 3-legged dog instead. Nice work, everyone. And we'll meet back in 3-legged dog. Right leg to the sky as you inhale. You'll step it between your hands as you exhale. And let's lower the back knee, Anjaneyasana, so we're facing the back of the mat, the back of the room. Twisting to the right, left hand forward, right hand back. You got it, everyone. Flip that front palm, reversing as you breathe in. And as you exhale, lower the left hand to the floor or grab your block, your choice. You might circle the right arm back behind you. You might reach for your back foot or ankle. You might even spin the right shoulder back a little more. That's it, Kelly. And feel free to take one more breath wherever you're at. And as you release the hands down, can you frame the front foot, the right leg, and straighten that leg coming into your half splits. Again, you might choose to grab hold of a block or 2 for more support. You might flex the right toes back towards you. You might feel a hugging in of the inner thighs, like a scissoring in to even out through the hips. And then from here, we'll start to rotate to the left side. So you'll pivot on that left shin, the bent leg. Your left hand will come back to the front of the mat. So hopefully it's less confusing. Your right arm will reach up and over for your stargazer. That's it. And then from this position, you might push yourself up. You might circle around, right hand to right leg, coming into your gate pose. So this time reach into the back of the room, nice, or the back of the mat. And then let's lift back up. When you're ready, we'll frame the front of the mat, pivot the body around. The left leg, the bent leg will kick up to the sky, bend the knee, open the hip, kick to your right. Taking a full breath in there, and then bring your left knee to your left tricep, coming forward. Kicking up to the sky as you breathe in, knee to nose as you breathe out. One more time, driving your left leg up, crossing the knee to your right tricep. You can look to the right, sliding the foot out for fallen triangle, lifting your right arm, grounding the back heel. And maybe one more breath there, and then lowering the hand. You can slide the left leg under, maybe pivoting to wild thing, stepping the left foot behind you, switching onto the right hand, or coming back to three-legged dog, your choice. And eventually we'll all meet back with our left leg in the sky, three-legged dog, and stepping it forward between your hands as you breathe out. And back knee lowers, Anjaneyasana as you breathe in. Sit Toma, you got it. And stepping to the top of the mat as you exhale. And take a halfway lift here as we inhale, and folding it down as you exhale. And when you're ready, rising, reaching up to the sky, and maybe landing your hands at your heart, or again anywhere else that resonates for you in this moment. And perhaps just noticing or observing what's shifted, what's stayed the same, what's been stirred up, what's settled, what's moving through you. And then from here, we'll start to bring the right knee up. So you can hold on to the right leg, or you can reach the arms up for your stork pose. And can you really stabilize through the standing leg, the left leg? Maybe taking one more breath here. And then we'll start to hinge forward from the hips as we step the foot to the back of the mat. Maybe the arms sweep back alongside you, your choice. You can always keep them reaching forward if you prefer. And can you keep driving the right heel back and creating this 45-degree line of energy through the back leg, through the spine, the crown of the head, even all the way through the arms and fingertips. Really making this pose come alive through your intention, through your engagement, and through your presence. And then on your next breath, you can start to rise up into a high lunge. And you can have a little play around here. Some of you might find a bit of a back bend. You can even find a mudra with the hands. Some of you might take more of a side bend, stretching over to the left side. Maybe seeing what feels right for your body, what feels good for your hips. And feel free to take one more breath wherever you're at. And then we'll start to open to a warrior two, grounding the back heel. Nice. And you can readjust, realign the feet if you like. You might check that the left knee is tracking in line with your left toes. And there's a sense of your shoulders sitting and stacking above your hips, so you're not kind of leaning or reaching to one direction, but you're able to settle into your center point and bring in maybe a balance between both effort and ease in this moment. And your next breath, can you flip your front palm, reversing your warrior? And as you exhale, floating the hands down, framing your front foot. Stepping up to the top on your next in-breath, and we'll fold forward as we breathe out. And when you're ready, rising and reaching up on your next inhale, and maybe landing your hands at your heart center as you exhale. Yes. And from here, we'll set up for the other side, so your left knee can lift again. You can hold on for support, or you can reach the arms up. Can you stay engaged all the way from the toes to the fingertips? Nice, everyone. And from here, we'll start to hinge forward, stepping your left foot to the back of the mat. Again, you might choose to keep the arms forward, or you might sweep them back alongside you. And can you lean forward about 45 degrees, engaging through your core? Beautiful, Leonie. And then on your next breath, you can rise up to your high lunge or crescent lunge. And again, your choice. You might find some sort of mudra or variation with the hands. You might back bend. You might side bend over to the the right side a little. And feel free to take one more breath wherever you're at. And then we'll open to warrior two, grounding the back heel. And again, you might readjust or realign your body or your posture accordingly. Again, that idea of getting a sense of your center, where that's located, and dropping in there, connecting in. On your next breath, you can flip and reverse your warrior. And as you exhale, floating the hands down, framing your front foot. You can step up to the top of your mat on your next in-breath, and we'll fold forward here as we breathe out. When you're ready, rising up, reaching up to the sky. Again, you can bring the hands to your heart or anywhere else that serves you. And so we'll flow through that maybe another once or twice, and then we'll begin to add on a little more to the sequence. So when you're ready, you can bring your right knee up. You can come to your stork pose as you breathe, and you'll step back into your arrowhead, hinging from the hips, maybe sweeping the arms back if you wish. Rising up to your crescent lunge, taking your variation, and then opening to your warrior two as you breathe out. On your next inhale, reversing your warrior. And as you exhale, floating the hands down, framing your front foot. And stepping up to the top of the mat on your next inhale. And we'll fold forward as we breathe out. And when you're ready, rising up, reaching up to the sky. And again, you can land the hands at your heart center. Left knee to chest as you breathe in. And stepping the foot back as you breathe out, arrowhead. Coming up into your high lunge as you inhale, maybe your variation here. And then opening to your warrior two as you breathe out. Reversing as you breathe in. And floating the hands down as you breathe out. Stepping up to the top of the mat on your next in-breath. And folding as you breathe out. And let's rise and reach up on our next inhale. And maybe landing the hands at your heart as you exhale. Go through one more round, but this time feel free to go at your own pace. So whenever you're ready, you can lift the right knee, you can breathe in, and then just continuing to flow through the sequence. Connecting to each pose, each transition, connecting to your own body, your own of breath cycle. It doesn't matter if you're a little faster, a little slower than those around you. It's about you connecting into you. And completing the other side whenever you're ready. We'll eventually meet back at the top of the mat, but there's no rush to get there. And we'll meet in a standing position at the top. So whenever you're ready. Nice. And from here, we'll bring the right knee up again, stork pose when you're ready. We'll start to add on a little more here and then stepping it back for your arrowhead. Rising to your high lunge and opening to your warrior two. So reversing your warrior as you breathe in, and this time we'll take triangle trikonasana as you breathe out, straightening the front leg, reaching forward and rotating. You might bring your back foot a little closer. You might rest your left hand on a block for more support. And then we'll transition into half moon from here. So some of you might place the block in front of the left foot, maybe leaning on that block, stepping a bit closer, and then pushing off your right foot to shift your weight forward into this balanced position. Nice. And you stretch your arms and legs out long, staying active, engaged with the whole body. Nice. And then very slowly, can you start to step your right foot to the top of the mat? So rolling the right hip down and folding forward here. You can take a halfway lift as you breathe and folding down as you breathe out. And when you're ready, you can rise up, you can reach up to the sky. Maybe hands again landing at your heart. And we'll do the other side. When you're ready, left knee to chest stork pose as you inhale and stepping it back for your arrowhead as you exhale. And we'll rise to our high lunge, your variation, and then open into your warrior two. Reversing as you breathe in and setting up for your triangle, your trikonasana as you breathe out. And again, you can find your own height here. You might bring the hand a little higher up the leg. You might readjust the back foot. Nice. And then transitioning to your Ardha Chandrasana, half moon when you're ready. You might step the back foot a bit closer. You might rest your right hand on the block in front of you, shifting your weight forward, stretching out long through the arms and legs, stabilizing through that standing leg. And maybe one more breath in, and then slowly roll the left hip down as you step your foot to the top of the mat, folding forward. And maybe a halfway lift here, and folding it down as you exhale. And when you're ready, rising up, reaching up to the sky, and then hands landing at your heart center. Nice. And when you're ready, right knee lifts up, stork, stepping it back to your arrowhead. And let's rise up to our crescent lunge. And this time something different. We'll twist to the left side. So right hand forward, left hand back. And let's flip that front palm here, reversing up and over. And as you breathe out, can you lower your right hand down to the floor? Can you reach your left arm up to the sky for this simple twist position? And then start to rotate to Cleopatra, pivoting to the outer blades of both feet, flexing the toes back. So the options here to come to side plank. Some of you might lower the right knee and take a supported side plank, then stepping the left foot back. Or you can stack the feet or scissor the feet, one in front of the other. Can you check that your shoulder is pretty much above the elbow and wrist for stability? And then have a little play, if you want, with the left leg lifting up and maybe bending the heel in towards you, maybe catching hold of the ankle or foot, if you wish. Nice. Beautiful, Sally. And then you're welcome to step the foot behind you, coming into Wild Thing, or maybe just this stargazer variation if you've got the knee down. And then slowly we'll meet back in downward facing dog. You're welcome to push back or flow back in your own way. And maybe a cleansing breath, maybe a releasing breath. Nice work, everyone. And then when you're ready, you can look forward. You can walk, step, or jump to the top of the mat. And we'll take a halfway lift there and a fold forward. And when you're ready, you can rise up. You can reach up to the sky. And maybe hands landing at your heart center. And from here, we'll do the other side. So when you're ready, left knee lifts your stork pose. And we'll step back to arrowhead. From here, we'll rise up to a crescent on our next breath in, and then we'll twist over to the right side. So left hand forward, right hand back. Flipping and reversing as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, lower the left hand down. You can reach the right arm up as you inhale for the twist, and then you can rotate to your Cleopatra as you breathe out. And from there, come into your side plank Vashisthasana, maybe lowering the left knee first if you want a bit more support there. Maybe really screwing the left hand into the mat to stabilize through the wrist, elbow, and shoulder. You can lift the top leg when you're ready, maybe bending the heel in, nice and wide. You can catch hold of the ankle or foot if you like. And then maybe stepping the foot behind you for your wild thing or this stargazer variation. Feel free to take one more breath, and then we'll meet back in downward facing dog. You can flow back, you can push back. Some of you might like to lower the knees and take a little rest in child's pose instead. Maybe just a few moments to be with yourself and your own personal experience here and now. And then when you're ready, you can look forward, you can walk, step, or jump to the top. You can take a halfway lift there when you're ready. And a fold forward once more. And from here, we'll rise up, we'll reach up to the sky. And maybe landing the hands at your heart center once more. Nice. So we're going to have a little play with dancer's pose today. So when you're ready, you can hold on to the right ankle or the foot with your right hand. You can extend the left arm up and then just start to hinge forward from the hips. Think about kicking your right shin back as well as sort of reaching your heart forward. So similar sort of shape to what we've been doing throughout the class. But just now maybe a little more challenge because we're just balancing on one leg. And then very slowly in your own time, you can start to come back up. You can let it go. You can shake it out. Nice work, everyone. All right, last side. So whenever you're ready, you can hold the left ankle or foot. You can hold on from the inside or outside. You can see what works better for your shoulder. Often find it helps to start with the knees together, and then when you're ready, hinging forward and kicking back through that left shin. And be reaching your heart forward, drawing the belly in, nice Sarah. And then slowly, can you start to rise back up and let it go once more. Nice. Okay. And then from here, let's reach up to the sky and we'll fold forward as we breathe out. And take a halfway lift here and then plant the hands. You can step, jump, or flow back to downward facing dog, however you wish to get there. Nice. And then we'll meet on our bellies today, so you can lower down slowly from high plank, or you can just slide forward from child's pose, your choice. Nice. All right, so let's lift ourselves up into Sphinx pose. We'll do some back bends, but I'll give you some different options. So sometimes back bends can be quite energizing and it is getting quite late at night. So see what works better for your body. But to start with, I'm going to play around with sort of this, it's kind of like a back bend, a bit of a quad stretch as well. So you can rotate the right arm around so it's sort of flush with the front edge of the mat. And then start to bend the left leg, and your left hand can reach back for the foot or ankle. So some of you might choose to draw the heel in towards your hips and get a bit more of maybe this quad stretch, or some of you might play around with kicking the shin back and pushing down through the forearm. So it's almost like a half bow variation. Yeah, you can play around with both options if you want. You might even try lifting the thigh off the ground. Nice. And then slowly you can release whichever variation that you're in. You can take a moment to allow the body, the spine to come back to neutral. It might feel nice to gently rock the hips a little side to side. And then when you're ready, you can start to set up for the other side. So you might prop yourself up into Sphinx, you might rotate the left forearm around, and then reach in for your right foot or ankle. Again, your choice. You might draw the footing closer, you might even hook it into your elbow crease, or you might choose to kick back and lift up. And then slowly letting that go. And we'll take a moment again just to rest, to neutralize, to reset. So I'm sure you can see where this is going. If you do want to have a play with full bow, Dhanurasana, you can bend at both knees, reaching for the ankles or feet. If that's not where you want to go today, it's a little bit too energizing and intense, you can come up into Sphinx and maybe just bending the heels in towards you. And that might be enough for you today. If you are taking Dhanurasana, feel free to kick the shins back to sort of initiate the movement, the pose, as well as lengthening the heart forward. You might think about lifting the thighs off if you're in bow pose, drawing the belly in and up. Maybe a couple more breaths wherever you're at. And in your own time, you can gently lower back down to the ground. And maybe a moment just to rest here. You might rock the hips a little side to side, or some of you might bend at the knees and sort of windscreen wipe the legs side to side. And from here, can you roll yourself onto your back when you're ready? So you can keep your head towards the front if you like. And once you're on your back, you can bend through the knees and you'll cross your right ankle over the left leg, creating this figure four. Some of you might stay here, or some of you might reach through and draw the left leg towards you. You can have a play around with flexing the right toes back. And if you are pulling the legs in towards you, you might also use your right arm to push or encourage the right knee away from you. So there's both a pulling in and a pushing away, which can maybe create a little more engagement or activation through the hips, through the glutes. And then from here, you start to guide your legs to the left side. You might keep the figure four, or you might wrap the legs a bit tighter. So you roll onto the left hip. And if you find that your hips have shifted a lot, you might shuffle them back to the midline. You're welcome to stretch your right arm out to the side to help ground your right shoulder. And then when you're ready, you can bring yourself back to center. And you can start to set up for the figure four on the other side. You can cross your left ankle. Again, you might stay there, or you might choose to reach through, drawing the right leg towards you. Again, some of you might play around with flexing the left toes back. You might bring in both a push and a pull. feel ready to, you can start to guide the legs to your right, rolling to your right hip. Again, you can find your own variation with your legs, your own supine twist here. And then in your own time, you can start to bring yourself back to center. And feel free to incorporate any last postures, movements, finishing touches. Some of you might hug the knees in, you might like to take a happy baby or some form of inversion if you feel called to. Essentially, just doing whatever it is that you need to do in order for your practice to feel more balanced and more complete for you personally. And then if you haven't already, you can begin to transition into your final pose. And setting up your body, your props in a way that feels really safe and supportive for you, so that you're able to more readily soften, settle and surrender into your final pose. Shavasana. a bit longer. Welcome to remain just as you are. Otherwise, you might start to deepen your breath, maybe incorporating some gentle movement back in, stretching, wriggling. Some of you might like to hug your knees in, or even rolling to one side, resting there for a little bit. And for anyone that does feel ready to rise up, and just in your own time, you're welcome to gently prop yourself up into a comfortable seat. There's no rush, there's no pressure to do so if you're not feeling ready yet. And you might bring your hands to rest somewhere that resonates most for you, and perhaps just taking some time to quietly contemplate and reflect on your own personal experience here tonight. What unfolded, what emerged for you through your own personal practice and process. Perhaps as a way to honor our individual experience, and also as a way to acknowledge this shared experience that we've created together, I invite you to join me in finishing with a collective breath. So when you're ready, a deep inhale and a long exhale. And maybe a gentle bowing of your head towards your heart. And a moment to acknowledge the land, the earth beneath us, and to recognize the traditional custodians of this land that we practice on. And maybe a moment to pay our respects to the ancient teachings, traditions, and lineages of yoga, recognizing its roots and origins based in South Asia and India. And finally, a moment to honor yourself and each other for showing up, for sharing space, and for co-creating this experience together. Thank you. Thank you all for coming, everyone. Thank you for joining us at home as well, online. And yeah, if you've got any questions, comments, anything, feel free to come and have a chat. Let's enjoy the rest of your night, and I will see you next time.